Hey everyone, Victoria here. Today I want to talk about something that we have all experienced that affects our writing, and it affects our writing in different ways and sometimes in unexpected ways. Whatever form it takes, all of us have experienced adversity, whether it's an injury, the death of a loved one, a breakup, even just a stressful situation that may not necessarily be negative. Moving, any big changes in your life, going to a new school. All of these things affect our mental and physical state and affect our writing. Our writing is an extension of ourselves, so anything that happens in our lives, that happens to us, is going to impact our writing in some way. I've been thinking about this recently because most of you know I just had hip surgery, and I didn't think it through how much this really was going to affect my writing. I asked the surgeon beforehand how long I should expect to be on pain medication, and he told me 2 weeks, me being me with a high pain tolerance that also gets me into trouble. I was only on pain meds for a few days, so I thought, awesome, I'm not on pain meds, I should be able to write, I should be able to make some progress on my manuscript, and it didn't work that way. Even though I was not on pain medication, I still had a lot going on. It was extremely difficult for me to do everyday tasks. Just getting around was really tough. It was taking a lot of energy. I was in a different setting. I was staying with my family instead of in my cabin in the boonies, where it's nice and quiet and super conducive to writing. And I was under a decent amount of stress. Recovering has its difficulties. I was going to therapy, and the early stages of recovery are definitely the hardest. Whether or not you are on pain medication, you still have to factor those things into how it's going to affect your writing. So I didn't get much writing done during the first few weeks. What I did get done was not very good. And I think a lot of writers forget to give ourselves credit for the other things that we're doing in our lives, and forget to give ourselves permission to not be 100% every single day, because it's tough. We don't expect athletes to be on top of their game every single day, because we understand that other things going on in that athlete's life, things going on in that athlete's body, things that they cannot necessarily control, are going to affect their play. But for some reason, writers find it difficult to apply that same concept to their work. I think that's damaging, and I think it keeps us from coming back to full speed as early as we otherwise would, because we're holding on to those expectations that we should have been writing more, we should have been writing better, and then we start to feel some guilt. We start to blame ourselves and think that I shouldn't have let these external factors influence my writing. And that's great in theory. That's fantastic. And if you can do that, if you can use writing as an escape from the stressful situations from life, the things that are going to make focusing on anything, especially focusing on writing, difficult, then that's great. But we shouldn't necessarily expect that. But the other side of that same coin is that adversity can also fuel your writing and make your writing better. Again, the thing I go to is, a few years ago I had a brain injury, and obviously not much writing got done during that time. But I really believe that my writing since has been better. I think that experience has informed my writing, has given me more emotional depth than I had previously. And I would argue that is the case with most experiences we go through, most difficult experiences, traumatic experiences. I think those do show up in our writing later. I think they make our writing better. And I think that if we can remember that while we are going through those difficult experiences, then I think it will be easier to give ourselves permission to struggle with writing, or even to step away from writing if that's what we need to do. If we remind ourselves that this is difficult right now, but this is going to make me a better writer later. And I don't necessarily need to worry about fighting this experience so much, then I really think that in the long run is better for us as writers, as people just trying to take care of ourselves and live happy lives. It's hard to be happy when we're constantly thinking that we should have done better, we should have done more. Sometimes we just have to really understand that we did give it our all, we gave 100%, and that's all that any of us can ever do. So that's my take on adversity and how it affects writers. I use some personal examples here, but I'm really talking about anything. Anything that affects you emotionally, mentally, physically, and when it comes down to it, those sorts of experiences tend to be linked. It's difficult to be affected in one of those ways and not another. Again, going back to my experience, my hip surgery was purely physical, but it also affected me mentally and emotionally, and that was important for me to recognize to be able to handle the situation and not let it negatively impact my work and my perception of my work. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about adversity and the way it impacts writing? What have your experiences been? Are they similar to mine or totally different? And in case you are stressed today, I have here for your viewing pleasure a video of a mockingbird taking a bath. Happy writing, everyone!